Hello, welcome to my channel. This is actually my first video on YouTube. I hope this video and this channel helps you grow your knowledge on AWS, cloud, and DevOps and other aspects. This series is focused on pathway to cloud. When I am in the field, when I'm working as a senior developer advocate here at AWS, or when I'm just talking to people in the community, or questions that I keep getting from friends and family, I've collected all these questions, these frequently asked questions, and I'm going to use this question bank, and I'm going to interview a lot of people and see if I am able to build a repository of the answers that can help you grow in your career. Please like, share, and comment on this video. Please subscribe to my channel. This will give me motivation to keep building more content that is more relevant to you. And I hope this is a fun ride for all of us. So let's go ahead and speak to our first guest in this series. That's Saurabh. Saurabh is a technical trainer with AWS here in India, and he's agreed to answer a lot of these questions for us. So let's get started. Thanks, Saurabh. Thanks for doing this for me and for the community itself. And
You're
without
welcome.
further, thank you. And we'll just start with your introduction. Please introduce yourself.
All right. Thank you, first of all. So, my name is Saurabh Bhattacharya. By my education, I have done my BTech in information technology. And then I started off my career with Dell. And that was in the hardware division. After working in Dell, I moved to one of the Microsoft partners and joined into networking. I joined as network assistant engineer, then got promoted as a network admin and then network lead, and did some stint in management as well. And then I moved outside India. I worked as a pre-sales consultant and technical advisor. And that was the time when the whole world was virtualizing the data centers, and some early adopters were moving to cloud. Then I came back to India, got into VMware domain, worked as VMware certified instructor, and I have wore multiple hats during my previous stint in my previous organization. Worked as a sales manager as well, evangelist, a lot of hats. And for the past 2.5 years, I'm working full time with Amazon. Internet Services Private Limited in India. Right now, I'm based out of Hyderabad, and that's about me. During my entire career, there have been multiple projects where I have been involved into, close to 140 odd projects under my belt in terms of virtualization, designing, and cloud. So that's about me. As far as my technical certifications are concerned in AWS, I'm Certified Solutions Architect, Associate, and Professional. I'm also Systems Operations Associate as well as DevOps Certified Professional. And I also do carry three AWS specialty certifications, namely in security, big data analytics, as well as databases. So that's about me.
So that's what, 7, 8 certifications that you've already done?
Yeah, so it's seven from AWS. However, I also do carry certifications of other vendors as well. I think Microsoft, most of their certifications till MCSE, MCTS, and all. VMware, I'm a VMware certified instructor level two. There are two levels, level one and level two. So level two is the highest one, as well as VCAP, which is the advanced certification of VMware. I also was vExpert as well. This is the contribution towards the community. VMware awards people globally for their contributions, and also certifications from a few other vendors from networking, like Cisco and Juniper certifications. From storage, I have EMC and NetApp certifications, and Fujitsu, their entire portfolio, in fact. So these are some of my technical certifications.
Wow. And what does your day-to-day activity look like? What do you do in your regular day?
Well, today, if you look at the unprecedented times we are all in, I think it's kind of a mixture of everything. However, coming to the professional way, if you look at it, I do conduct, advanced and specialty classes. So most often, I think for the past couple of weeks, I've been delivering advanced architecting course as well as DevOps professional course for my customers. Apart from the trainings, I'm involved in many projects within the company. These projects are from various domains, various initiatives which we have taken as a team or as an individual. I have taken some of them as well. I do participate in a lot of interviews, so that's something which you cannot escape in Amazon. So a lot of interviews are also happening, and that's something which is really encouraging. Given the time we are all in, and still, there are so many interviews which are happening, which is really really great to see. Recently, if you remember, we did conduct a day where we had a drive going on, especially for women, to hire them in Amazon on various roles, and that was a really fun day which we all had. So yeah, that's how
Great.
my
And
typical day looks like. Sorry, go on.
yeah, definitely. We are always hiring. That never stops, whatever happens. And it's good with to be with a company who keeps hiring new talent and keeps growing us as individuals. Thanks
Absolutely.
for the intro, actually. So coming to what you do, I think you're the best person to answer a lot of questions because I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel you may have a lot of people who attend your trainings and want to join your trainings, right? And they may have a lot of questions. And what we've done is with you, definitely. Uh, let's do a role play. Let me ask you these questions, and hopefully
Sure.
these question answers will help a lot of people who will be watching this video to shape
Okay.
their career in cloud itself.
Okay.
Awesome. So I'll ask more from a training and certification perspective, right? So the commonly we common question that even I or you keep getting when we are public speaking from AWS side, right, is what certification should I do? That's a common question I keep getting, and how would you answer this kind of a question?
Yeah, in fact, that's a pretty common question we also, as instructors, also receive when we are providing a training program. What I personally believe is it totally depends on a couple of aspects. Number one, what's your role currently you are in, and would you like to continue that particular role going forward in future as well, or are you a person who is looking to enhance your skills and probably want to, look out for other roles? So, just to give you an example, when we look at the AWS certifications, we have four levels of certifications. It starts from the practitioner level, then we have the associate level certificates, professional level certificates, as well as specialty level certificates, right? Now, just to give you an example, let's say if you are a developer and you would like to pursue your career in development as well, or probably that's the role given to you and that's the scope you're looking at, we can look out for developer certification, right? However, as a developer, you are looking at hints in your company or in your projects that your company is moving towards the DevOps kind of cultural mindset, and probably this is something which you're looking at. You can go ahead and pursue the DevOps engineering certification as well. Or maybe you were a developer as a full stack developer, and then you are fascinated with some of the technologies like data analytics, like we used to call it as big data. So data analytics, or maybe machine learning, or maybe security, whichever field intrigues you, and this is a field which interests you, and this is the field or line in which you would like to pursue your career in future, I believe you need to take that call. And we do have opportunity for everyone, whether you would like to continue with the same field or would you like to go ahead with the different field in future for yourself. So it's actually a question about your choice, and you need to make a call which line you would like to go in future. Would you like to remain in the same stream, or would you like to pursue some other fascinating technologies which are coming in the industry? I would suggest you could look out for details on our training and certification portal. Just go to aws.training portal, and you will get all these details over there.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, definitely. I mean, that is the thought after it that AWS has everything for something for everyone, and everyone can have what they have been doing. They can either go in the same field and enhance their knowledge about it, or they can choose to explore something else and add into their portfolio. Definitely, I agree with you. And the certification landscape has changed over the years, right? We've
Yes,
continuously, I think we are adding a lot of specialty certification as well, which will help
absolutely.
people learn particular domain rather than being too generic as well, which is
Mhm,
fine. So the
mhm.
other question I keep getting, which is kind of similar to what you answered to, but it's the other question I keep getting is, I'm currently a developer and I want to do the developer certification, but so many of them suggest me go for the solution architect one. What do I do? Do I go with developer? Do I go with solution architect? How do I choose the path forward?
Yeah, and that's a really nice question. See, Rohini, one thing which I believe most of the people are aware of, and I would like to pass on this message as well. Unlike many other vendors, AWS doesn't have any prerequisites for certification. So, which means if you feel like you need to write a particular certifications, feel free, you can go ahead and write it. There is no prerequisite that you need to be a developer to write a developer certification, or probably you need to complete an associate certification. Only then you can write a professional certification or even a specialty. There is no such prerequisite which AWS certifications have, and I believe that's a pretty good thing because that gives the power of choice in the hands of our customers, and those builders can choose whichever certifications they would like to pursue, right? So today, let's say you feel like you have enough amount of knowledge and experience in one of the streams, let's say big data or data analytics, you can definitely go there and you can write that specialty certification without even attending any training, without writing any prior certifications. You can directly go ahead and book that big data specialty and you can write it, or data analytics as the name has changed. And the same thing is true if you look at the world. A lot of people are excited about the artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning, that line of stream, and a lot of innovations are happening in that area today in the technological world. A lot of people would like to test their knowledge and validate their skills in that particular stream. They can always go ahead and write a machine learning certification. So it totally
Right.
depends what you want to do. From our side, we have ensured that there is no prerequisite for writing any certification. You can go ahead and write any certification of your choice. Now, I'll tell you, there could be different reasons why, as per your question, that somebody who would like to pursue a developer certification and people might be suggesting them to go with a solution architect certification. It totally is their own perspective. All right. Maybe if you look at the stream of architect, you will understand that architect is someone who would like to give a solution for a particular requirement, right? So let's say there's a requirement by a customer, and an architect is required to suggest which is the service which could provide a solution for that particular requirement or for that particular challenge which the customer is facing. And there could be many other such reasons why people go for solution architect certification. But then, as I said, it's totally a choice of a customer. Which certification would they like to pursue? In which order would they like to pursue? They can absolutely go ahead and pursue that. There's no restriction from our end.
Exactly. Yeah, true. I completely agree with that. Like, if you are a developer and there is a DevOps profession professional certification, right? So if you want
True.
to go ahead and continue doing dev and also add the ops DevOps into it and go ahead do that. If you want to go ahead and maybe you've done the developer associate and now you want to go ahead and do solution architect professional. I mean, there is no prerequisites, or there's no we are not stopping you from doing that. You are free to go ahead and do these certifications. Makes sense. Then
Absolutely,
from a course
absolutely.
perspective,
Mhm.
right? So from a course perspective, is there any mandatory course um, people have, like anyone has to attend so that they can go ahead and then do a certification? Uh, is there any mandates on that?
Wow, that's a great question. So again, the answer is no here, Rohini. See, Rohini, we do have trainings available in multiple ways. So if you look at, the digital trainings which we have on AWS training portal, those digital trainings are absolutely free, and anyone on a self-paced basis, they could go ahead and complete those trainings. Or we do conduct, private on-site trainings as well for customers, and they can attend them as well. However, those trainings are something which are paid trainings. However, there is no prerequisites of any trainings for writing any certification exam. If you have the knowledge, go for it, and that would be my suggestion.
Okay. Now that you talked about it, does AWS provide free trainings? You did talk about the online videos, but is there any other thing like free training from AWS?
Oh yes. So as I already mentioned, if you look at the our digital training portfolio, that's absolutely free, and there are, I think, 300 plus 300 to 400 trainings which are absolutely free, depending upon the length and duration of the topic. They are somewhere around from 10 to 15 minutes, and they can go up to like 7 to 8 hours curriculum as well. And these 300 to 400 digital trainings are absolutely free, and you can all find them on AWS training portal. Apart from these digital programs which we have, and by the way, they are growing on a weekly basis. I think some time back I was looking at it and the numbers were less, and then suddenly I saw the numbers are increasing on a weekly basis. So that's something which is pretty great, which is there. Apart from them, we also do conduct from training and certification portfolio. We do conduct a lot of marketing events, and these marketing events, they revolve around many topics like cloud essentials or technical essential days, cloud practitioner days, and moving large scale migrations to AWS cloud, or maybe on security essentials and stuff like that. And these are absolutely free sessions. However, these sessions are sometimes, somewhere around 2 hours to up to a day, and they are absolutely free. So anyone who is interested to go through these trainings, just give it a shot, and you will be able to attend them as well.
Okay, so good point there on the digital trainings and the in-person events that AWS does, and most of these events are definitely free. With respect to digital training, if I'm not wrong, some of them also have the tag for free tier. So free tier is like if someone has a new account for like first 12 months, you have certain resources free, and some of these trainings or hands-on labs that are available on the website, I'll provide the link in the description, but a lot of these trainings fall under free tier, right? A lot of these hands-on tutorials fall under free tier. So if anyone has a new AWS account, they can just go ahead, play with it, learn. Because I feel, to be honest, if I have to learn something, I feel like I can learn faster if I'm doing certain hands-on activity and not just reading about things. That helps me prepare for certifications faster.
Oh, absolutely, Rohini. And I would also like to add one point, the good point which you touched about the free tier account. If you go to free tier website, which is aws.amazon.com/free, this is the URL for it, and probably you'll put it in the description as well. But you will notice one thing: there are many services which comes under free tier, and as you rightly mentioned, some of them comes under the purview of 12 months, which is 1 year. They would be free. However, there are many services which you will find on that website which are absolutely free lifetime.
Always.
So just to give you an example, if you look at AWS Lambda, we give you 1 million Lambda instructions absolutely free, lifelong. Or the same thing if you look at SNS, we give you it, 1 million SNS notifications absolutely free per account, and that's a lifetime free. However, there are also some services which are not free even for 1 year, and these services are available on a trial period. Some of them are free for 2 months, some of them are free for a few hours. But then, if you go to that website, which is aws.amazon.com/free, you'll be able to see these free categories: free for 12 months. Lifelong free, as well
Awesome.
as on a trial period. Yes, and you'll be able to filter them out as
Definitely,
well.
thank you for adding that point as well. Yes, there are
Sure.
three different categories in free tier itself. Makes sense. So my last question when it comes to certifications is, how do I take online certifications now during such times when we are all locked at home? How do we go ahead and take online certifications?
Yeah, that's a good point. And trust me, when the lockdown started in India and in our state, that was a question which came to my mind as well. However, the great thing which you could do with AWS certifications is that you could take up these certifications from home as well. And we do have two partners who do conduct these certifications, namely Pearson View as well as PSI. And while you go to AWS training portal, you will find a certification tab over there. And if you go ahead and create an account over there, if this is the first time you are taking an AWS certification, while booking your exam, now you do have an option to choose home proctoring. Just to tell you my personal experience, last month I cleared my database specialty, and that was from the home proctoring. And trust me, it was so smooth experience for me, because all you have to do is book your exam for home proctoring, and on that given day, they would, there would be an online proctor who would come and chat up with you, and they will guide you step by step basis what you need to do. You have to take up your laptop and show them the room from where you are conducting this particular exam, and they will do check your system requirements and everything. And during the exam as well, in case you get stuck, they have an option where you can contact them over chat, and somebody will come you and help you out. So that's
Okay.
basically a great way, or hassle-free way, I would say, where you can take up these online certifications right from the comfort of your home. You don't have to worry about going outside your home, and worry about the unprecedented times in which we are all in. And that's a great thing which we have. I think since for the past 2 or 3 months, this home proctoring is available, and there are so many students of mine who have told me that this is one of the best ways, where without any hassles, they are able to take up those certifications.
Wow, thanks for sharing your experience itself. Like, it's okay to hear from someone else, but when you, as a trainer has become, the one who has given the certification from home, it's good to hear from your experience. Any particular tips you want to give?
Actually, in fact, when I was taking up the first time the certification from home, this was the first experience for myself as well, and they are pretty, straightforward in terms of the instructions, which are pretty much clear cut and straightforward. You could follow them pretty easily. You can conduct your system checks and other prerequisites days before the actual exam. And the only worry which I had was, what if my power goes off? What if my internet goes off? What if my laptop crashes? And these are some of the things which might come in the minds of people who are conducting the taking of the exam, right? And what I would suggest to them is, there this is pretty smooth actually. So there have been a lot of people who have suggested these kind of problems, and they also told us how they overcome these problems. One great thing which you can have is, apart from your normal Wi-Fi internet at home, you are allowed to keep your mobile at an arm's distance in the same room while you are taking the exam. And the only thing is, you have to show them, the online proctor, that the mobile is a bit far away; it's not in your arm's length reach. And the good thing is you can, apart from the Wi-Fi, you can enable the mobile hotspot tethering from your mobile and keep it on. So even if your Wi-Fi goes off, and automatically if your laptop is configured to pick it up from your mobile phone, which most of us working professionals do have configured it, then the exam takes up from there. So you might realize, like, maybe for a few seconds the screen is frozen, but the moment internet picks it up, it starts working. And even if unfortunately there is an unforeseen event happened, let's say your power goes, I don't think that will be a problem if you're using a laptop with a sufficient amount of battery backup. However, in case the laptop crashes or the exam stops working or anything of that sort, I think Pearson View proctors are really helpful in that regard. They might, take up your the notice of the situation. They will ask your remarks as well, and they might reschedule that exam later. So that's a pretty great way. And just let me tell you, I have taken a lot of certifications from exam centers as well. And in exam centers, sometimes again you do face some of these challenges where the computer crashes or the computers are pretty slow. At least those problems you might expect not to face with your personal laptops.
Makes sense. Makes sense, definitely. And having a phone nearby, interesting, because when you go to exam centers, they ask you to store everything in a locker, and you're just there with yourself and answering these questions. So I think we can have couple of backup options when we are at home, and we can work through the prerequisites. I think it should be good for anyone doing this. So thanks
Yes.
for talking us through the training and certification. Moving on to the next segment is talking more about from a career perspective, right? So a
Okay.
lot of people ask a question like, okay, I have done AWS certification, I'm a certified candidate. What are my career options? What can I do next?
Right. Again, a pretty popular question which we instructors also face in our classroom scenarios. See, there are millions of customers who are already on cloud, and there are many companies. They are in the process to migrate their workloads to the cloud. In fact, I believe the COVID scenario might have accelerated that particular migration process, if not delayed. And there are so many people, so many companies who are looking for the right skill, candidate. If you ask me personally, I believe certification is something which is important because that is one way where you could validate your skill sets. However, I also believe that having knowledge in cloud skills will definitely help you out in terms of the interviews, right? Uh, Companies are expecting the disruptive nature or the disruptive environments now, at least more now due to the environment we are all in. And I believe having cloud skills definitely will help progressing your career. So many people I know, they were from different streams, different departments. You won't believe, I met once a commerce graduate, and they were pursuing their career in cloud native technology business, and that was so great to hear the story. That how from commerce background, that person was pretty much interested in the cloud skills and whatever the innovation which was happening in around the cloud area, and they pursued it on a personal interest at first, and then they saw an opportunity. He was not even certified, however he applied for the interview, and looking up at his knowledge, he was hired even in that company. So just great to see how people are getting into different career roles in their lives, and definitely the scope is going to increase in my personal opinion.
Definitely. And you got a good point there with respect to certifications. Well, even I feel, I mean, this is my personal opinion that certifications are a good way to validate your knowledge, but don't just prepare for going through a certification. I think you should prepare for learning or getting that knowledge, and learn these technologies so that you can add it to your career rather than just focusing on a certification and then it's gone. It's gone from your mind. So I agree with you
Absolutely.
on this aspect. And To be honest, I have done my junior college in commerce. I then moved to BSc IT for my graduation. And before I joined AWS, I don't think I had any certification. But this was like 6, 7 years ago when I had some experience, and the knowledge that I had about AWS that helped
Mhm.
me get into AWS rather
See,
than just having certifications, right? Because I think from an AWS perspective also, we would love, it's a plus to always have candidates who have certifications, but then the knowledge is the core to the certifications, right?
see
So yes,
yourself that coming from a commerce background and how you are a successful person in the cloud business itself, and that
yeah,
shows that having the knowledge is something which goes a very long way. I would in fact add one more point over here. I think last month sometime our India training and certification head, Mr. Amit Mehta, he actually floated across the IDC report. And looking up that IDC report, I found out that, and that IDC report has come after this COVID situation. You know, we were already into 3 months into the lockdown, and then this IDC report has come. And as per that report, around 21% of the companies who got disrupted big time because of the COVID. And these companies could be the MSCs, could be the small scale companies, the startups, or even the mid scale companies, and even some of the enterprise companies. They have reported that they would accelerate their migration process towards public cloud platforms. And that's a pretty interesting number over there because 21%, if you look up the overall cloud market, that's a huge number to have.
right, right. Yeah, definitely 21% is quite a good number, actually. Good. So the next question, so what I'll do is try to, because our audience may be like, coming from a different level of experience in the IT industry. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to ask you different levels. So maybe we are able to answer a lot more questions from that perspective.
Sure,
So any
sure.
advice to a fresher in the IT industry? What would you suggest them?
Yeah, it's a pretty competitive world, isn't it, for the freshers out
Yeah.
there? Because I believe lakhs and lakhs of these, freshers, they come out of their colleges every single year, and it's very important to have a pretty solid foundation. That's what I believe. I'm happy to say that a lot of freshers whom I meet and during my seminars or webinars or during my casual conversations, they are pretty enlightened in a way that they are aware of the industry. They are aware of the cloud skills, which is pretty hot, and some of the hot topics in the industry which is going on. If you look at some of them, they already do start their preparations on the sidelines while pursuing their engineering degree or their graduation programs, and some of them they do invest certain extra hours on these special skills which they want to develop. And it's very important to have that solid foundation out there because I'll tell you one fact. I don't see, or I can't imagine any industry or any vertical which is not directly touched with the cloud or by the cloud. Whether you talk about the finance industry, whether you talk about these fintech companies we are in, whether you talk about the healthcare industry, which is nowadays a lot of people are paying a lot of attention towards. You talk about the IT field, which we all know, the scientific community, every field, any field, or manufacturing, or IoT, and any field you name it, there is not even a single vertical or not even a single domain which I believe is not been impacted or touched by the cloud, which also means that having those cloud skills even for the freshers would definitely increase their prospects to get into a company. Imagine, there are two candidates, all right. One person who is great in, let's say, their own, program which they have gone through during their undergraduate days, and there is another candidate who not only knows those programs but also is aware of, let's say, some of the cloud flavors and cloud technologies. I think that person becomes more employable, because that is something where the gap between the industry and the academia is getting reduced a bit. And those
Right.
people, who are freshers, my only suggestion to all of them would always be, keep an eye on what are the hot technologies which are out there in the market, and try to invest a couple of hours on a daily basis on those extra technologies, because this is something which might become the differentiator between you and someone else.
Exactly. And I completely agree with you that our today's generation is quite ahead and they are up to date on what's happening in the industry and what they want to do. And yes, there is a lot to learn. There is literally lots of people want to do a lot of things. But now there is cloud is the new normal, right? For us. So
Absolutely.
you could say that there is so much to do. Like there are a lot of domains and a lot of verticals that people can look forward to. I completely agree with that. I do have a question here, but we'll put a pin on it about what are the hot topics or upcoming things you think are in the market today. But we'll come to it towards the end. But because I want to keep the flow of now we talked about freshers, right? Uh,
Yeah.
any thoughts on anyone whose experience maybe like 2-3 years of experience, they've been in the IT industry, they're doing certain work in the industry, and now they want to, what would be your advice to them?
Hmm. So see, people who have completed 2 to 3 years or maybe up to 5 years in the industry, my take on them is that by now they already have got a knack or the flair of the industry. They definitely know, what are the things which it take to succeed in their professional careers. They also know there are various means and various domains how they could progress in their career, and what is the line which interests them, which intrigues them, and which they can enjoy, so that they can think about building a career out of it. And this is the right time where you already have the evidence in front of your eyes, where your company is moving, or where the industry vertical of your company or the line of business of your company is moving in, and where the other companies are moving. And I believe that's something which should be used as a cue. Even though, if you look at 2 to 3 years or up to 5 years of experience, you will feel that okay, there is a long way to go. However, I would suggest this is also a very right time where you can, channelize your entire energy into, those skills where you would like to pursue your own career. And that could be anything. That could be the hot topics, the hot technologies in the market. Cloud skills definitely will help you out there. And this is something which will also become a stepping stone for internal growth within the same company as well. We know that there are a lot of people who do pursue, certain skill sets while they are, doing their day-to-day life, day-to-day job, and still these extra skills is something which becomes a stepping stone for them to, laterally move different departments or different projects or different domains. And that's a pretty interesting, insight out there which these people could take up or use into. Yeah.
Yeah, agree. Because I keep getting this question, just to be a bit more honest and frank, because the question that I keep getting is, you know what? Whenever I want to go and apply for a job, I need to have a certification or I need to have experience. Actually, more is emphasis on experience in cloud, but I can't get experience in cloud because I have not worked on any cloud project. So what do I do? How do I break this chicken and egg problem? And I'll just share my take, then you can share yours. But my take on it is like, don't just say that you've done this certification, now hire me. Have certain projects ready. Now we live in a world where social media and there's a lot of stuff available on the internet, right? So do certain quick projects, show your innovation, show that you have the capability to do certain projects. There are a lot of people I know who blog, who do have their GitHub pages, who do
Yes.
videos, who do. that there's different mediums that you can show that you have certain knowledge in a certain field, that
Mhm.
may not be your mainstream field as well, right? So uh, use the internet to help you strengthen your career and then move ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, any thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, I think you have nailed it perfectly. I believe that anyone can change streams. Anyone can find out so many innovative ways out there, which they can choose upon, and they can progress in their careers. See, I'm a person who believes that anyone can change their streams. Even if you look at my own personal career, I was I did BTech in IT, which means I could have easily joined as a software developer. However, I chose
Yeah.
hardware, which was a different stream. And then from there, I went into networking. From there, I went into a pre-sales consultant. From there, I came back as an instructor and then sales and whatnot. I believe every company definitely has asked me this question that, hey, you have experience in a different domain, and how would you justify now applying for this particular domain, which is absolutely different? The only thing, and you rightly said, more than the certification, I believe knowledge is the most important thing. Chase the knowledge, and everything else comes automatically. I believe.
Ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I conduct a lot of interviews. A lot of people who come and apply, they have very heavy certifications in their resumes. However, if the fundamentals are not strong, I don't think
Exactly.
they get brownie points for having those certificates. Certifications might help you to get to an interview. However, the knowledge is the only thing which will help you to survive that interview. And also, in a long term process, if you look at it, will be able to help you survive in that particular company or succeed, in that company as well.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, certifications are needed for the validation, but knowledge is something that will take you far away. If we remember, the movie Three Idiots also said the same thing, right? Learn how to
Yeah,
give code and not how to give money.
absolutely a wonderful movie.
Truly agree. Yes, so completely agree with that mindset. And you did touch base on one of my questions. Is like a lot of people say, I'm a developer right now, and I want to change my stream and maybe become a solution architect with AWS or with AWS skills, and become an architect or a DevOps lead somewhere else. How do I plan for that? I think you
Yeah.
did touch base upon it, but maybe you can expand with this question.
Yeah, absolutely. The same thing, which I would say that, I personally have done that. So I'm telling you my first-hand experience that it's definitely possible to change your stream. And it's a great thing as well because the more domains you can experience, the various diverse experience you could have, that adds more value to it rather than reducing it. So, for example, I believe tomorrow if somebody will come and tell me that I am married to Java or Python for the past 15 years, I don't know whether I will value that person the most, or will I go for a person who will come and tell me that, hey, I do understand the programming languages, I know them. I don't have 15 years experience, but I do have a couple of years of experience, or have been involved with personal projects which I've developed, which is enough for me to showcase their skill sets. However, I also can do value add because I have knowledge of the infrastructure background, I have knowledge of the server, storage, networking, security, and all these things, or maybe the CI/CD pipelines from the DevOps perspective. I think the equity of that person who has the diverse set of experience goes high a lot,
Yeah.
and that's what I would suggest.
Totally agree with you. And from my experience as well, I wanted to be a tester when I was going through my college because I was good at testing. I actually am certified in Java. So I
Wow.
used to be like good at programming and testing. But then, when the opportunity came in and when I started working with cloud and as an R&D associate, I could say, it was my beginning, and this is like decades ago,
Mhm.
right? It was a decade ago, not recently. Recently, the experience that people will have are different. But then cloud was new, and we were learning. And uh, I I didn't know. I had to learn everything from infra to networking to DevOps, and
Yeah.
that actually helped me a lot. I worked with a solution architect in my previous org, and he helped me understand to see the big picture, and then be able to combine. So that T is very important.
Yeah.
That T is very important, where you have that general knowledge about a lot of different things. You may not be deeper into them, and then if you're a developer and you're deeper into development, that's good as well. That T always will help, right?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
having dive deep in a particular domain and having an understanding, oh, sorry, this also happens, and applications, like how do microservices happen and how do polyglot services happen. So like, having that big picture attitude, I think that will help do it. And from a plan perspective, I think while we have that developer understanding, try to build projects maybe that will help you go into
Yeah, you are
different
right.
domains or different technology and build those projects together, and then you will slowly build your mind, right? It's not just Rome was not built in a day. You can't be a
Correct.
solution architect in a day, right? You have to have
Absolutely.
that team, but it's a
Absolutely.
plan that sometimes works.
Yeah, you said it well.
Awesome.
I couldn't have articulated it that well. Absolutely, you're absolutely correct over there.
Yeah, I've been solution architect with AWS for 5 years.
See?
It the conversations that I had 5 years ago and the conversations I used to have until recently are totally different, right? Because
Yeah.
initially we used to only talk maybe to DevOps or CTOs and CXOs and um, infrastructure people, or more on developers maybe.
Mhm.
But now, towards the end of it, I mean, I'm in a new role now. So by the end of it, I think I was talking to marketing teams and analytics and engineers and uh, data science people as well. Like, there is the solution architect has to have that breadth. Oh, this is coming up, this is coming up. At least have knowledge about what can be used where, and then go deeper into all these details.
Yeah, Rohini, and in fact, one point which I liked when you mentioned that, look at the number of opportunities which you have received in terms of working with all these different people out there, different professionals from data science to a solution architect to marketing team, and what enriched value add it does to your personal development and growth and your interpersonal
Exactly.
skills, right? That's a big picture. You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
Bang on.
Yeah. So solution architect could be an end goal, but there are a lot of small steps that needs to be taken to reach that
Yeah.
end goal, right? And it should
Absolutely.
not be the end goal. There is always growth behind that. Agree. Um,
It's a continuous
Thanks. And
process.
it is always like architectures keep evolving, so you have to keep evolving with
Yeah.
respect to that. Makes sense. Great. So next question. I think I have just a couple more. So just quick one. That is something I have been asked a lot of times. If you can give me an answer, that would be great as well. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll try my best.
AWS releases AWS releases so many services, right? No, so many services and features like every year, right? So how do you keep yourself updated? How can someone watching this video keep themselves updated? What can they do?
Yeah, that's a great question, isn't it? And that's pretty relevant not only for people who are watching this video, even for all of us within the Amazon family as well. See, when I look at the pace of innovation which we have, it's quite tremendous and quite unbelievable as well. The pace at which these services and features are getting added to AWS portfolio. I think the year when I joined, I asked this question or tried to figure out the answer to this question. And let me just tell you the answer. In the year 2017, the rate at which we released the services and features, I think we ended up with 1,472 unique services and features in that one single year. And in 2018, the number was 1,957 new services and features. I'm pretty sure last year we did more than 2,000 services and features. If you look at the pace of innovation at which we all are, getting to know about these services and features, that is quite huge, And there is one place which I would recommend to everyone where you can go ahead and look it up. We do have a official blog from AWS, which is called as AWS What's New blog, and you can easily find it on internet. This What's New blog of AWS is being maintained by our chief evangelist, Jeff Barr, and his team. And every week, whatever new services and features are released in that particular week is updated on that website. Apart from this blog, there are so many community members who are also adding value and announcing these new services and features in different social media platforms. And these are some of the ways where you could keep an eye. I myself, in my LinkedIn, I do share a lot of new releases and a lot of new programs which are happening. And these are some of the mediums where people could go and go ahead and check it out. I personally would favor the AWS What's New blog a lot, because this is like one shop stop where every one of us can go and get to know about these new services and features which have been released, the previous week.
Definitely, there's a lot of work that Jeff Barr and his team puts into get this blog together, right?
No
Not just
doubt.
this blog. So just to add to your point, there is also, I mean, what's new talks about what is new in general with AWS. There is also domain specific blogs that AWS has, like Big Data Analytics
Yeah,
has its own blog.
absolutely.
Developers have their own blog. So if anyone
Yeah.
is pursuing that particular domain, they can just subscribe to that blog and keep getting the
Yes.
updates in that field. So that helps as well. Definitely, a lot of information is available on the internet, right? There is like AWS documentation, and then there is like people like you, me, who keep posting these things on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Yeah.
Definitely follow. I think audience should follow people who do something in that domain, or just people like us who are ready to share such knowledge and be part of it. Also, while I'm talking about it, we do have communities across the world. So we do have a community in
Yes.
India, in Nepal, and Bangladesh. So it's a user group community, and I've been part of actively taking part in the community itself.
Of
I'm sure
course. Yeah.
there's so many people we have, right? So you can just approach them, and I'll definitely add more details about it in the link, but just wanted to add
Sure.
that part as well.
Sure. That's absolutely.
Definitely. Cool. And coming to my last question, the one that we had to put a pin on it was the what are the hot topics, or what are the technologies for future of IT industry? What do you see in that part?
Yeah, another pretty popular question which I get during my conversation with a lot of people. I'll give you my perspective about it. I've been fortunate enough to have traveled to so many countries in this world. I think I've covered more than 40, 50 countries. And I have imagined that the whole world is something which is divided into mostly two or three categories. There are certain countries, like if you name US and Australia and some part of Europe and Japan and some of these countries which are early adopters of the technology. Most of the innovations happens out of there, and these are the countries which we can look up to. And whether we look at even our day-to-day life, or we compare the technology as well, the second category is something which are the follower countries. So our country like India, we are followers majoritarily because we do follow these advanced countries. What happens over there? Eventually, a couple of years down the line, we start getting the glimpse of it, right? So I always suggest one thing to everyone who asks me this question, or probably some people come to me and ask me like, Saurabh, do you think it would be a great idea to pursue my knowledge in the lines of IoT, or maybe blockchain, or maybe machine learning? What's your opinion? See, my personal take on this is keep an eye on what are the job openings in these advanced countries, or what is the trend which is happening in these advanced countries, because these are the trends which will happen in our country in the next 2 to 3 years down the line. And more often than not, I have been keeping an eye on these trends for the last, you can say 8 to 10 years, and more or less it has been true. Whatever happens, so for example, if you look at virtualization, started in US pretty dominantly, and then slowly the whole world, including our country, got into the fever of virtualization, and everybody started virtualizing their data centers. And now the same thing is happening, for the cloud as well. So if you look at the the advanced countries and look at the technologies, or these hot topics which you call it, what are these areas? I think this year beginning January, I was in US. I talked to a lot of friends and people around there, and the predominant areas where the demand was getting generated was in the lines of definitely machine learning, artificial learning, deep learning. Then, if you look at DevOps, is something which is gaining traction a lot. You look at other streams like IoT, blockchain, data analytics, and all these areas. If you look at them, they are all gaining a lot of traction. And I believe in future, all these different profiles which people talk about, they all will get converged into these mainstreams. I do remember during my time, if you are a network administrator, you were supposed to be just the network administrator or the network expert. However, what has happened today is that when the virtualization came and the entire networking was also became the responsibility of the virtualization administrators, the same administrators were managing the infrastructure as well as the network, right? When the cloud has come, now we don't require like specifically network administrators for doing anything on cloud, because cloud has removed that heavy lifting and shifting a lot. So if you look at the trend and if you pick up your cues from this trend, I believe, as I mentioned, the AI, ML, and DL, which is artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, IoT, blockchain, DevOps, these are data analytics. These are some of the streams where all these different profiles will get converged to. This is the trend right now, which we can see in advanced countries, and hopefully 2 to 3 years down the lane, I personally believe that that could be the trend which we'll see in India as well a lot.
Exactly. And just to add to a point, I've had a discussions with like few of my friends and people I talk to in the community. They're like, for example, data science. Oh, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a data science person. I can't get into this field. There is a lot more to data science than just being able to write models, right? So if you're not good at it, maybe there is DevOps in data science. You have to build pipelines in data science. There are so many openings I see, testing, in data science. So
Yes,
there is still a flavor of everything else in these roles as well. So it just takes, while there are these fields, there is also a lot of things you need to do in these fields as well. So look out
absolutely.
for what is the demand and maybe build on that.
You're absolutely right.
Makes sense. Thanks for doing this, Saurabh. This was quite interesting. I learned a few things as well, and I have few answers for anyone keeps
My
asking me this
pleasure.
question, and I'm and definitely just to the audience, me or Saurabh are available for you on LinkedIn. My DMs are open on Twitter, so feel free to reach out to me or Saurabh or any one of those people I'm just listing in the description below, and we are always here to help you, and hopefully just giving you all the best for your career and for certifications that you'll be doing in future. Thank you, Saurabh.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure, Rohini. It was great to talk to you.